What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're gonna have a fun video. We're gonna talk about the worst Zetas in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I just completely botched that name. Let's try this again. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're gonna be talking about the worst Zetas in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. These are Zetas that are just not good. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is not set in stone. This is not going to be a permanent list of the worst Zetas. This can change based on what we get in the future. For instance, one of the worst Zetas when it was released was the Zeta on POW. It was a very big meme in the community. That's where I got the whole like Darth POW icon for my channel. There was someone who made a bet that he would send me a video of him falling out of his chair if I put the Zeta on POW. It was a whole thing. The community hated that Zeta. It was terrible back in the day. But then eventually we started to get some teams that could maybe make a use out of it, and then finally once we got Mon Mothma with Rebel Fighters, well, now suddenly that Zeta on POW is pretty good. So this is not going to mean that these Zetas are forever terrible. So this could possibly age badly in the future. Maybe we get some reworks on here. Another character that could be in here would be Grand Moff Tarkin. Before his reworked Darkside clones, his leadership was pretty bad, but now there's a use for it because of the way you can split up Darkside clones with him for 3v3 Grand Arena. There are uses. Things will change in the future, so this list may change as well. But for today, August of 2025, these are what I would consider the worst Zetas in the game. So we're going to talk about this, and I would love to hear from you guys if you guys agree or disagree with my list as we go through this. If you think I missed someone, if you disagree with my assessments on these, let me know down below. And as also, if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive right into it. And I want to talk about 3 Zetas that you could make an argument as being really bad, but also have the added benefit of being on pilots, and that can help kind of boost the power of your fleets. First Order TIE Pilot, his Zeta on Kenai, just not really good. You don't really use First Order TIE Pilot in First Order squads. Captain Phasma for Territory Wars, maybe. But, you know, Supreme Lord Kylo Ren is like your meta First Order team. He takes all the good First Order characters there, and you're kind of looking like this Captain Phasma thing. And this used to be a decent Zeta back in the day before we got Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And then, yeah, it just kind of fell off. But because he is a pilot for the First Order fleet, that does kind of save him. Death Trooper with Krennic's Guard. Krennic is just a terrible character. This Zeta doesn't really get a lot here, but again, a pilot for your Empire characters. And then Gar Saxon. He is a good Darkside Mandalorian character, but the Zeta on his leadership is trash. It is absolutely terrible. It is horrible, but being a pilot, that Zeta does help boost the stats and kind of make his ship a little bit better. So those at least have those going for them. The rest of these, not really. And I want to start, and let's just go ahead and talk about what I consider is to be the worst Zeta in the game. And man, this is... I remember when this Zeta dropped, even then we all saw this and said, no way, like this can't be a Zeta. And it is. If the target is toppled, the ability is reset on Aura Singh's Sniper's Expertise. This is really bad. So number one, we haven't had a meta raid with topple in years. So there's only 2 or 3 different raids that have topple mechanics. Rancor, the tank raid, and the Sith raid. And inside those, only parts of those raids have topple mechanics. You only have 2 phases in the Rancor raid, you have 2 phases in the tank raid, and you have 1 phase in phase 3 versus Traya where you have topple. That's it. So you have 3 parts of raids that you can get return of like some kind of use out of the Zeta. This is a really bad Zeta. This is, in my opinion, the worst Zeta in the game currently. It is terrible. There's just no use for it. If that was one I'd love to see, like, hey, maybe we get some refunds on it, because it's just bad, man. It's just really, really bad. And then next up is going to be poor old Bodhi Rook. Just, man, maybe one day he becomes a pilot. He's a pilot, but he doesn't have a ship. He's part of Rogue One squad, but you don't really use him because he doesn't bring anything to the fight. You have the Zeta on him at the end of each of his turns. He grants offense up for 2 turns to a random ally who doesn't have it. Which, if you're using Rogue One, you're not really worried about offense up because most of their power comes through exposes and being able to just do massive health damage to the enemy team. Yeah, offense up really doesn't do a lot for a Rogue One team. That's not really synergizing with how the Rogue One mechanics work. It doesn't really do a lot here. There's some nice stuff with buffs, but it's not really doing a lot there. Bodhi Rook, poor man, he deserves a whole lot better. And just, yeah, if he was a pilot, maybe you can make an argument there like you can with the other 3 characters at the top here. But yeah, without him being a pilot of a ship, there's just no reason for this, and he's just a terrible Rogue One character overall, and probably one of the worst characters, not even probably, he is one of the worst characters in the game. Then you're gonna have some Rebels with Zetas here, and you can make an argument for Rebel Officer Leia Organa with her Dauntless Zeta unique here, where, yeah, if you're using her inside of, like, territory battles, with her territory battle Omicron, maybe there's something there, but for the most part, when's the last time you've really thrown Rolo into a squad and said, yeah, this is great, I love using this? Like, there's really not a lot going here for you here. Hoth territory battle, and that's really it, and even then, it doesn't do a lot. We did this just fine. We did all of our missions with her just fine without the Zeta back in the day. Now we have better light side characters, so you don't even need to worry about that Zeta as much. Yeah, there's no need to worry about that Zeta. Same with Captain Han Solo, another Hoth character. Again, we did all the special missions that required Captain Han Solo and Rebel Officer Leia Organa without the Zetas. It really wasn't that much of an issue. You really don't need this. There's no point in investing in this. It gives him some bonus max health, which I believe is something, yeah, it helps synergize with his Hunker Down ability. But again, are you really using Captain Han Solo outside of the Hoth territory battle? Or even, yeah, because you're not even, yeah, you're just not using him outside of the Hoth territory battle. And then Luke Skywalker Farmboy. This dude has 2 Zetas. Why does he have 2 Zetas? I don't know, but neither one is good. His lead Zeta gives 5% bonus tenacity to allies, and whenever an ally resists detrimental effect, they gain advantage for 2 turns. That's not worth a Zeta. That's an Omega upgrade at best. And then on his unique ability, at the start of each of his turns, he gains 10% crit damage stacking until the end of the encounter. If you're in a prolonged fight, like, say, the tank raid, this, I think we did see a little use out of the Zeta back in the tank raid, because you could use him with, like, Wampa and Darth Vader, and you can get the dots going, and that would kind of synergize with those characters, and you could get, like, the stack and crit damage here, but that's a very niche use, and that's probably the only example I can think of ever that we used the Zeta on him. Just, it really does not do a lot. Having 2 Zetas on Farmboy Luke is just criminal, man. Like, if we could get like a T-16 Skyhopper on him and give him as like a pilot for that, that'd be cool. And maybe he gets to use for his Zetas there, but nothing really there. 2 redundant leads with Inquisitors. Both of these leads, they're okay. They're not necessarily bad, but the issue comes into play with the fact that they are leads that you can throw these Zetas on, but as soon as you get Grand Inquisitor and Reva, these leads, you're never going to use these leads again. And even then, their leads were very niche uses for them. You know, for instance, Ninth Sister, this had to do with countering Jedi Master or Jedi Knight Luke. I think there was this Jedi Knight Luke counter. This was before my time, before I came back, so I can't quite remember. I think this was for Jedi Knight Luke, and I can't remember what Seventh Sister was for. But both these lead Zetas just never, whenever they evade, you cover health and protection. Like, what are you even going to use that for? So, yeah, both those lead Zetas, you could use them, but as soon as you unlocked Grand Inquisitor, he automatically was your go-to lead for Inquisitors. And then Reva's just even better. So, it's Zeta leads you throw on these characters, and then you just never really ever use them once you get better ones. And that's going to kind of tie into this. And this is one, so starting off with Grandmaster Yoda, little history lesson for those of you who weren't around when the Sith Raid dropped. Originally, when the Sith Raid dropped, we got a rework to Grandmaster Yoda, which was cool. This was by far like the best of the Jedi leads at the time. So you can get an idea of how bad the Jedi teams were at that time. Like, Jedi leads at that time, not really good. We didn't have the Zeta on Qui-Gon Jinn yet, I think. I think that Zeta lead came later. Maybe we did get it at that time, but even then, like, it still wasn't good. The Omicron was what you're really waiting for to make that Qui-Gon Jinn lead good. This was the best lead at the time, and a lot of people invested in this lead at the time because, man, this is really good, and it does help make your Jedi a strong team inside of Phase 1 of the Sith Raid. So what went wrong? Well, within a month of this lead dropping on Grandmaster Yoda, Basilisk Shan came to the game, and that was the lead up to Jedi Knight Revan, which we got, and then, yeah, it was not good. So, yeah, a lot of us got baited into the Zeta on Grandmaster Yoda. We got it, and then a month later, we got Basilisk Shan, which was a vastly superior lead for Jedi teams. I mean, we all dropped the Grandmaster Yoda lead, and then we threw on Basilisk Shan. And to this day, I think Yoda still needs a rework. He's the only legendary in the game that does not have a passive ability here. He's got 2 different Zetas, and like the Zeta on Battle Imitation is great. Really good Zeta there. But this lead Zeta just, man, it fell off so hard. And yeah, I wish I'd never gotten that Zeta on him. One that I don't regret getting, but one that I know is just bad now, is Commander Cody's lead. Like, this lead Zeta, this is what helped found my YouTube channel, because Clone Troopers were one of the best teams in the tank raid, and it was because of this Zeta, where they were constantly mass assisting through Commander Cody, recovering that health and protection. It was really good, and this allowed your Clone Troopers to do some really good stuff. This is how you got the Princess Zodi team, which was Princess Leia thrown in with your clones in Phase 4. You can also use it in Phase 2. You get other characters in, like Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, Jawa Scavenger. There's a bunch of different characters you could throw in with your clones that could get some really good damage numbers for you in Phase 2 and Phase 4. And this lead was just really good for that. Unfortunately, these days, the Clone Troopers you've got them split off in different areas. You got 501st Clone Troopers. You've got your normal Clone Troopers that you still have are like your Phase 1, and you got your Bad Batch, and you got Commander Cody, and really there's not a lot going on here. And a few months ago I talked about I would love to see Jedi Master Kenobi get the kind of treatment that Lord Vader got, where suddenly Cody and some 212 guys come in. You get Heavy. Oh god, who did I say in that Waxer and Boyle? Who else did I say in that video? I can't remember off the top of my head now. But yeah, you get something like that where you get these 2 3v3 teams, and you combine them together into a 5v5 team with Jedi Master Kenobi lead plus Commander Cody in there, and Commander Cody's like the Grand Moff Tarkin of that other 3v3 team. I would love to see that. I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon, but yeah, this lead these days, this lead is just not good. Darth Nihilus' lead, this was one that seemed interesting at the time, but yeah, this one quickly got outclassed by anything else we got, because eventually we got Darth Traya, and Traya's lead is what you use for Sith, especially for the Sith trio. This is one where, Sith allies gain bonus offense and Hellsteel, they lose their max protection and gain that much max health. It was kind of the lead into what we got with Darth Malak down the road. This lead Zeta just never really took off. There was a little bit of time there was oh, maybe this seems interesting, but once we got Traya, once we got her lead going, you never looked at this lead Zeta again. This is one that, yeah, if you got this, as soon as you got Traya, you just never looked at that lead again. Traya's lead was so much better. Canderous Ordo and his unique with I Like a Challenge. What are we doing here? This was one I think we used with Karth Onasi with the Old Republic team back in the day with Mission and Zalbar. You had your Karth lead, you had T3M4 in or Juhani in, and you could do some stuff there, but that was about it. No, you could also do this with, God, who else could you do this with? I want to say Darth Revan. We tried to make this work with Darth Revan because Darth Revan would apply Death Mark on the lead, and maybe you could get crit damage there. This was a really bad Zeta when it came out, and it's just gotten worse over time. You don't even need this for your Darkside Mandalorians, because Darkside Mandalorians are all about true damage, which is based off your offense, which cannot be affected by having crit damage up. So even with the Darkside Mandalorians, which is where you use Canderous Ordo now, you don't use this Zeta. This is still a Zeta that we never got use of it out at the start, and now these days you don't get any use out of it now anyways. Visas Marr. Another history lesson for people who are not here for the Sith raid. This passive used to be cracked. They had to nerf this within 2 days of her releasing, and a lot of people got refunds for it because, man, we saw how she was doing the Sith raid, and we all wailed on her, and we were like, this is amazing. And then CG stepped in 2 days later and was like, she's performing better than expected, and they nerfed this. So originally, how this worked was that this was not limited to attacking once per turn. She could assist everybody that assisted in a turn. So you could get like a mass assist, like we would throw her in with clone troopers, and we throw like clone troopers and Visas Marr into phase 1 against Darth Nihilus of the Sith Trio raid. We call it mass assist with Cody. She would assist 4 or 5 times easily, and you got some solid damage out of it. But she performed too well. Nowadays, you only get once per turn. It must be against Sith characters, and she cannot be debuffed. Also, she only has a 60% chance to assist. So you've got a lot stacking on this. There's a lot of RNG with this. We got this Zeta just because it was so cracked. We got 2 days we got 2 days worth out of this Zeta, and then they nerfed it. But you know what? I got my refund for it, so I really don't care. Yeah, I got my money back from Google Play on that one, because man, they destroyed that Zeta so quickly. Poor Calvin with this one. This is one I bought this way back in the day because I was like, yeah, maybe we can make something work with it. It's terrible. It's a terrible lead. It's terrible. Poor Calvin with like this Grand Arena Omicron that he's got here. This lead just, yeah, this lead on Luminara, the Omicron, it's all just vastly underwhelming. Maybe one day we can get something with her with some kind of synergy with something, but yeah, even with the new Jedi Vanguard character, she's not getting anything. And then finally, we're gonna have the 2 Wookiees here. Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca and Clone Wars Chewbacca. Now, full stop here. If you're crazy enough to work on a full Wookiee squad and get them running, you got Tarful, you got the whole Wookiee squad going, you can get some use out of these Zetas. But let's be real here. That was like, I think when Tarful first came out, maybe people built up Wookiee squads. But in my time since I've come back to the game, I have never seen anybody pull out a Wookiee squad. And I mean, I started back down in like Bronzium and worked my way back up to Rhodium. I have never seen a light side Wookiee squad anywhere inside of Grand Arena. I have not seen it inside of Territory Wars. I've never seen it. So yeah, I don't think people are going to build up a Wookiee squad. If you want to, by all means, go for it. This Zeta with Defiant Roar on Clone Wars Chewbacca could be something for that. And then this one, let the Wookiee win. This is like, you have to intentionally hamper what's going on with Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca. You have to really slow him down to get the max benefit of this, where he's gaining that stacking offense until he uses 2 abilities. You gotta make him go really slow against a fast team and hope he survives. And then you can get some really good damage, but that's having to hamper him and keep him really slow to get this used. That doesn't seem great. And again, yeah, if you're not running a Wookiee squad, you're really not going to use that. You don't use it in resistance squads. There's no like smuggler squad we can really run with this. Yeah, there's nothing here for it. Yeah, that's kind of my list of underwhelming Zetas and like just really bad Zetas. I would love to know from you guys if you all think I missed someone here, or you think I'm too harsh on somebody, or yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Again, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.